Everyone, welcome back to the Charles Oliveira fan club. In today's video, I'm going to go over UFC 307. I'm going to break down the card, all the fights, give you my thoughts, and matchmake the fighters. And yeah, let's get into it with the first fight I predicted. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. I picked Buckley by unanimous decision, but Buckley ended up getting the KO and knocking Stephen Thompson out. Kind of unfortunate, but I got to give Buckley credit for doing that. Looked pretty good in that fight. Going up to the third round, I had it 1-1. You could make an argument for 2-0 for Wonderboy. I think Wonderboy actually did quite well during this fight. It was a very competitive fight. I think Buckley outstruck... No, sorry. Wonderboy outstruck Buckley, and then Buckley out-wrestled Wonderboy as we predicted. And then in round 3, Buckley just landed this nasty lunge punch combo that just knocked Stephen Thompson out. It was looked kind of like what Dricus would have done. But anyway, Wonderboy, I've matched him up against MVP. I know a lot of people are saying him versus Carlos Prates, but I do not want to see Wonderboy get knocked out again. So I've gone with MVP. This would be a really, really fun fight to see. Both of them strikers, very similar style, that karate style. And I think this would just be a really, really fun fight to see, and one that everyone would not complain about. So yeah, sign me up for this fight. For what do I keep messing up the names? For Buckley, I have him against Usman. Actually, a really good call out by him. He did call out Usman, and I think that is the fight to make. Usman is on a kind of a loss streak right now, and I think Buckley does deserve quite a high fight. He looked pretty good against Wonderboy. Yeah, I'm just glad Buckley didn't call out like Conor McGregor, or well, I'm really glad he didn't call for a title shot. But yeah, I have gained respect for Buckley now. I don't hate him as much as I used to, but yeah, I haven't matched up against Usman. Anyway, on to the next fight. Kayla Harrison versus Caitlin Vieira. Kayla Harrison ended up getting a unanimous decision win. I did predict it to finish by round 1 finish, but she ended up going to decision, which is fine. It was a pretty boring fight, kind of wishing for it to be over. But anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on the fight. I'm not going to matchmake the fighters, no, because does anyone care who Caitlin Vieira fights next? No. Obviously, give Kayla Harrison a title shot. Anyway, next fight. Kevin Holland versus Roman Dolidze. I had Kevin Holland winning this by round 2 TKO, but in reality, Dolidze managed to TKO him, and well, not really TKO him, but managed to get the win because Kevin Holland got injured. He broke his rib, which is quite unfortunate to see. Would have liked to see this fight go a little bit longer. But yeah, in the round that this fight did have, Dolidze was clearly winning. He was dominating Kevin Holland with his wrestling, and fair play to him. I didn't think he was going to use his wrestling, but he managed to, and he managed to get the win. So basically how Kevin Holland got injured, they were grappling, and I think Kevin Holland decided to go for an armbar, failed, and when he landed on the ground, I think something happened, and he broke his rib. So yeah, anyway, that was sad, but I have Kevin Holland matched up against Shara Magomedov. It would be a pretty good fight to see. You know, both of them are pretty active. Shara's actually fought a lot. He fought June against Tricoli, I think. Then he fought August against Mikal. And now he's actually fighting on the Abu Dhabi card against someone. I don't know who. But anyway, if Shara manages to win that fight, which I think he will very easily, and if he manages to beat Kevin Holland, then you can get a ranked fight. And if Kevin Holland managed to beat Shara, then Kevin Holland can get another shot at the middleweight ranking. So I think this is a pretty cool fight to make. And then for Dolidze, I have a matchup against Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen is higher up in the rankings, and I think Dolidze definitely deserves to fight higher up in the rankings for getting a win. Brendan Allen is coming off a loss, so he deserves to fight down. And yeah, they're both pretty heavy grapplers, and it would be cool to see like a grappling matchup. I don't know, would it be cool to see? Maybe not. But anyway, I just think it's a fight that makes sense. You can match him up against even... Who else could you match him up against? You could even match him up against Costa or someone. But yeah, I just have a match up against Allen. Anyway, next fight. Next up, we saw Jose Aldo get robbed by Mario Bautista. This was an absolute robbery. My initial prediction was Jose Aldo by unanimous decision, and in my opinion, that's what this fight should have been. But in reality, Bautista somehow got a split decision. There's something seriously wrong with the judging here. They can't keep awarding control time over damage. It's in the if you look at the judging criteria, effective striking and grappling is rewarded the most, and holding Jose Aldo against the fence and getting your takedown stuffed is not effective grappling. You actually have to be doing something to get closer to ending the fight, and in my opinion, that's what Jose Aldo did with his striking. So I think that was undoubtedly 29-28 Aldo. A lot of people also think so. The only people who think that Bautista won was Bautista and the two judges who scored for him. But yeah, this was an absolute robbery. Jose Aldo definitely should have won this fight. I do not see why he shouldn't have won this fight. I mean, you could even make an argument for 30-27 Aldo, but I do have a 2-1 Aldo 29-28. But anyway, for Aldo, Henry Cejudo, even though he lost to Bautista, it was a close fight, and I do think he deserves to fight higher up in the rankings. If he beat Bautista, I honestly would have given him a top 5 guy, but Henry Cejudo will do now. This is what the Mario Bautista fight should have been. It should have been Jose Aldo versus Henry Cejudo. And yeah, I think this fight is definitely very winnable for Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo, in my opinion, will be able to stuff the takedowns of Cejudo. He has very good takedown defense. And yeah, I mean, it was, back in the day when Cejudo was champion, I think it was actually meant to be made for UFC 250 or something, but it fell out for some reason. But anyway, this would just be a really cool fight to see. Very winnable for Jose Aldo as well. And it's a nice chance for him to get a top 5 opponent next. For Mario Bautista, I have him against Song Yadong. Just have Song Yadong KO him, get him out of here. I do not want to see this guy win any more fights. Because he made the fight boring for the grappling exchanges, because he would just shoot like there was no tomorrow. Literally, why am I saying the judge? The referee pulled them off because, nothing was happening when he was trying to take Aldo down. And immediately as the referee pulled him off, this guy just immediately shoots for a takedown. It was so annoying to watch. Like, your takedown is clearly not working. Just strike with Jose Aldo. Like, it was so annoying, honestly. I genuinely don't know how the judges gave this fight to him. Anyway, I'm versus Song Yadong. Yeah, Song Yadong will probably KO him. Anyway, next fight. In the co-main event, it was Juliana Pena versus Raquel Pennington. I predicted Pennington to win by unanimous decision. Somehow, Pena won by split decision. Another robbery. Not as bad as the older fight, probably because I don't care as much. But I had that fight scored for Pennington. I think she clearly won the first, fourth, and fifth rounds. But yeah, they both just looked extremely mid. And then, like, throughout round one, nothing really happened. Pennington did end up throwing a bit more, so I gave that round to her. And then round 2 and 3 was just grappling by Pena. And round 4 and 5 was kind of like a bar fight. I don't know. Pena was just... why do I keep messing up the names? Pennington was just lighting Pena up in those 2 rounds. I think she won the fight. But anyway, I don't care. They both look mid. Next up, the main event, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree. I thought this was going to be like Alex Pereira's easiest fight, so I picked him to get it done by round 1 KO. But actually, it took Pereira 4 rounds to get him out of there. And Khalil Rountree, props to him, man. He managed to win the first 2 rounds against Alex Pereira, which is very surprising. It's definitely one of Alex Pereira's toughest fights at light heavyweight. Jan Blachowicz was probably a tougher fight than this, but yeah, Khalil Rountree did really well against him in the first 2 rounds, and then in round 3 and 4, Poatan came back and just picked apart Rountree, ended up getting the TKO in round 4. But yeah, we should have listened to Anthony Smith when he said he's better than Jon Jones on paper. That was funny. There's no way Khalil Rountree did better against Poatan than he did against Anthony Smith. But I think that's just because, Rountree probably prepared extremely well for this fight, trained really hard. Poatan probably took things more relaxed for this fight. But anyway, good performance from both. For Khalil Roundtree, I have him against the loser of Uzdemir and Olberg. I think the loser is going to be Uzdemir, but I mean, you can't count things out. So, yeah, I mean, so that being said, he's probably going to get a guy in Uzdemir who's ranked above him, and I think that's a good idea. I mean, a fight with like Jan Blachowicz or Yuri would be really sick. That would be a great fight. But I think he just does need to take things a bit easy. Don't fast track him too much like they did with Steve Erceg. That was sad to see. And Khalil Roundtree did win me over this fight. I talked a lot of bad things about him, but he actually surprised me, and now I have a lot of respect for him. And yeah, on to Poetan. I have him of the winner of Ankalaev and Rakic. Probably going to be Ankalaev. And just don't make that fight in Abu Dhabi. Please don't make that fight in Abu Dhabi because Ankalaev's probably going to win. But yeah, I think that's obviously the fight to make. Ankalaev, been at the top of the division quite a while. Deserved the title shot for pretty much the whole year now. But yeah, I think the winner of this fight should definitely get the title shot, undoubtedly. And that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I know I did post this one a little bit late, but at least I posted it. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the card in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.